Hi, and welcome to Katie's Classroom. I am your teacher and chief owl at Owl Professional Coaching. And today we're talking all about executive presence and presentations. And I'm just bringing you what I have seen my clients find the most success with. And I like to use this analogy of an old car and a new car. If you've ever purchased a car before, what you'll notice is you'll start to see that car everywhere you go. What you all don't may not realize is that you also don't see the old car anywhere you go. And often what holds us back from elevating our executive presence of showing up and nailing that presentation is that we aren't really present with ourselves, and we have these old memories of what it has looked like in the past that we've showed up, and that's our old car, and everywhere we drive all we can see is this old car. So, in order to help you get the new car, in order to help you stay more present, after all, the word presence is in executive presence, and also in presentation, we want to be present. And I like to bring in some sports psychology. As a tennis player in college, uh, two things really helped make a difference. One is belly breathing, calms the nervous system, allows you to stay more focused. It also creates a feeling of being more present. And then the second one is visualizations. We know that if a basketball team were to visualize themselves shooting free throws versus actually practicing the free throws versus doing nothing, that athlete is going to get about 10 to 15% better on the free throw line simply by visualizing it. So this also applies to showing up in a presentation, showing up with the executive presence that oftentimes my clients talk about. How do I show up around senior leaders? And how do you stay authentic? Well, you have to stay present. You have to know what you're feeling. You need to stay in your body. And oftentimes we can be dysregulated in our nervous system. So belly breathing allows you to do that. And then there's also the visualization component. I invite my clients to visualize their biggest fear. Oftentimes, it's someone asking a question that they don't know the answer to. My favorite part of my own presentations as a high school teacher is that I was totally fine telling a high school kid I did not know the answer. It didn't dawn on me that I should be concerned about it with adults when I shifted into leading adults. So watch yourself have that experience. In a visualization, your eyes are closed, your belly breathing, bringing your focus on the heart. Imagine each breath coming in through the heart as your belly expands. Visualize yourself waking up and getting ready for the presentation or the meeting. Visualize yourself smiling as you walk in. And as you do this visualization, you're going to feel your corners of your mouth turn up. As you start to walk in, imagine your body is having this experience, much like a basketball player will feel the ball in his hands and has a routine. Allow yourself to feel the feeling that you want to have as you enter in the meeting or presentation. Watch yourself look at everybody else and send them that same feeling that you have that you want them to match. Humans are energy before they are a cell. There's a spark that happens when the egg and sperm meet, and so you are an energetic presence. And each feeling we can measure vibrationally. It has a different frequency. Much like a guitar, if you were to pluck it, all the guitars in the room next to it will match its resonance. You are the resonance in the room. You're not here to look for who's resonating with you. You're here to set the resonance for the room. Watch yourself going in and doing just that. Watch yourself make a mistake, the fears that you have. But watch yourself not be self-absorbed, but be present, to smile, to bring it as part of something you were intended to create with all along. Well, Bob, I love that you always ask those provoking questions that I'm not prepared for. What a lovely way to compliment someone. Imagine yourself as you wrap up the presentation. Imagine yourself smiling as you leave the room or shut the computer afterwards or just click end, whatever that visualization is for you. And as you imagine it, allow yourself to continue to feel as if you're there in that feeling at 95 years old when you recognize that you probably don't really care about this presentation at 95. It's really okay. Allowing yourself to bring some levity, to remind yourself at 95 that this isn't the thing. But as you lead up to this thing, as you continue to belly breathe, as you build the presentation, as you belly breathe and visualize what you want to create, you are getting yourself a new car. You're creating new memories that 95% of the brain doesn't know the difference. And you're able to find that feeling again. You're able to connect to those moments. And you're building a calm nervous system that doesn't have to fight bears in the boardrooms, so to speak. Bringing in visualizations and breath work can translate into a lot of the things that you do. I encourage people when you're in the meeting. I have a great Katie's Classroom episode on the shift and lift technique. The cut through technique is also great if you've got some really tough PTSD from corporate around some of these topics that come up. And if you want to head over to owlprofessionalcoaching.com, you can click on podcast and learn more about Katie's Classroom and how you can become a member and get your own seat in the classroom as well coming in 2025. I encourage you to check out the future self visualization as well if you're really looking at getting a new car. I invite you to go 20 years in the future. After listening to it once, you can create your own visualization if you'd like in your mind, as you might imagine how you'd feel and how you'd show up. I encourage you to use more breath work and visualizations around preparing for presentations and executive presence. So often we are reading books on leadership, and that isn't really keeping us present at all in the meetings. We're just trying to find ways to control things when we're reaching for the right words. There's a lot of relaxing into being present, dancing with this moment, to use some coactive coaching language. Visualizing yourself feeling that, allowing yourself to go there. You can also even just ask your heart, what else do I need to know? Your heart will probably remind you that at 95 years old, you need to know that the people you're presenting to all woke up that morning and went to the bathroom. And statistically speaking, not all of them wash their hands. It's fine. And your heart also might want you to remember to bring some of that executive magic into whatever you're doing. The magic being you. Your authenticity is the gift you have to share with the world. Oftentimes, I hear clients talk about the introvert in them and not wanting to present. Full on stage fright, could never become the actress I had dreamed of. That's why I became a teacher. It was my stage. The audience couldn't leave. And the people kept sending me the audience every day, so I didn't have to go out and find it myself, much like my podcast. Allow yourself to enjoy being the actor or actress that you are from a place of authenticity. If you're adding value and driving impact by showing up in the presentation, feeling calm and whatever other feeling that you'd like to bring to the room, perhaps it's excitement, maybe you need a theme song. I always love a good theme song. But think about what executive magic that you want to bring to presentations. And if you are that introvert but you want to be that leader, and you want to be that leader, allow yourself to recognize where you can add the most value. You don't have to put your hand up for everything, but if you know that you are the right person If you know the room would benefit from people seeing you because they would see themselves, put your hand up. Oftentimes, leaders will share with me that their mentor says, well, this is the way it was when I was coming up. And I like to remind women that we have our first generation of women that were finally allowed into corporate. And so they're just starting to retire out, or they're in their 30-year career and times were different. You don't have to do it the same way that they did. You can carve your own path. But the questions that you ultimately want to answer are, is this where I can do the greatest good? Is this a place that I want to thrive in? However you choose to bring that authenticity and to bring that into the executive magic that is you, make sure that where you're bringing it is where you want to be. So yes, you can be the quiet leader. There's the quiet marketer on Instagram, big fan of her. You can be the quiet leader as well. How do we just enhance what is that magic that you bring in a way that allows you to have fun? Sometimes the introvert in me is a little too serious, mostly because I want to control the outcome. I want people to like me. I want to make sure it was good. That authentic you from 0 to 7 was not concerned about those things so much, most likely. I invite you to play a little bit more in your visualization as well. That is the outside the comfort zone piece. And as someone that had major stage fright, outside the comfort zone is me on a mic going live. So I fair enough joined you in that feeling. And I took my own advice and I did my own breathing exercise beforehand. Then there was some technical difficulties and things went awry. Still an okay podcast. Still a great episode of Katie's Classroom, which I invite you to check out more of at owlprofessionalcoaching.com. Join me next time. I go live on Wednesdays or Tuesdays or whatever day I happen to hit live, just to drop a little nugget here or there, whatever the theme is that's coming up. And around performance review time, the presentations and executive presence tends to be one that comes up quite a bit. If you are looking for more support in 2025, you can also drop me an email. I'd love to connect with you. I will have more seats open on my roster by then. Have a great rest of your week and have fun playing.